Chocolate is a multi-billion-dollar product that has been enjoyed by people for thousands of years. Today, chocolate is consumed in a variety of forms, from bars and truffles to cakes and ice cream. But what might leave a more sour taste in your mouth is some of the practices of the chocolate industry. Let's have a look at the dark within the business. Before we dive into the dark stuff, let's look at the history of the industry. The modern chocolate industry can draw its roots all the way back to the early days of the colonial era, where Europeans began to import cocoa from Central and South America. At the time, chocolate was primarily consumed as a beverage, often flavoured with spices and served as a luxury item for the wealthy. But as production methods improved, chocolate became more widely available and affordable, and it wasn't long before it was a popular treat for people of all incomes. Today, chocolate itself is a global enterprise that encompasses a wide range of products, from high-end boutique chocolate bars all the way to mass-produced candy bars. And in the modern day, the chocolate industry is dominated by a small number of large companies, some of which are Mars, Nestle and Hershey's, which control a significant proportion of the market share. Despite this, there are also many smaller chocolate makers who specialise in producing high-quality, handmade chocolates. And whilst this all sounds very well and good, like many billion-dollar industries, chocolate has a dark side, with serious concerns about the sustainability of cocoa farming practices and the exploitation of labour in some parts of the world. Let's first look at the problems with cocoa farming, as many cocoa farmers, particularly in poorer nations, earn very low wages and often struggle to make a living from their crops. In addition, if not managed properly, cocoa farming can be extremely dangerous for the environment, with deforestation and other forms of habitat destruction posing a serious threat to wildlife and ecosystems. Again, in an industry where billions of dollars are made annually, it's quite unfair that those at the absolute bottom of the chain get the very least of their hard-earned cash. But just as usual, the evil of big business doesn't end there. In many countries where cocoa is produced, including Ghana and the Ivory Coast, children as young as 5 are forced to work long hours in fields, often without pay and in dangerous conditions. These children are frequently denied education and are at serious risk of physical and emotional harm, including exposure to hazardous chemicals and materials. And whilst many companies have made efforts and commitments to eradicate child labour from their supply chains, these efforts have been slow to yield results. And the problem is complex, involving issues around poverty, access to education, and the lack of enforcement of labour laws. But alongside the use of child labour, the chocolate industry is also having a significant impact on the environment. Cocoa farming is a major driver of deforestation in many tropical regions, as farmers often clear land to make room for cocoa trees. This destruction of the natural habitat is devastating and has massive consequences for wildlife and ecosystems, alongside contributing to climate change through the release of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. And we haven't even taken into consideration concerns about the health impacts of the chocolate industry, particularly in relation to high levels of sugar and fat in many chocolate products. The topic of overconsumption is really something for its own video, although we briefly touched upon this in our Coca-Cola video, which I would recommend that you watch next. But thank you ever so much for watching this one. I know it was short, but I just quickly wanted to look over the cocoa industry. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, but that's it.